Hi guys, welcome back to the Alpha Customs YouTube channel. So today we've got this BMW 1 Series hatchback, which is a 2-litre petrol, and previously you might have seen this car on our Instagram page where we've done the whole front end lighting, we've changed the bumper, and we've done the coding and the number plates for this car before. However, today it's more of a mechanical issue, and normally I don't do mechanical stuff on cars because I'm not a mechanic. However, this is for a friend, and it's an easy job that you can do at home by yourself too. So please do remember to like, subscribe and comment on this video on what you like and what you don't like. And please do follow our channel to see what jobs that we do. So on this channel, for those of you who are new, we will be talking about things that we'll be doing on cars, such as modifying them, maybe a project car which will be coming soon, and things that we do on our customers' cars too. So let's get into this video and let me show you the parts that we've got in order to carry out this job. So for this job, I'll go through the things that you need, because you can do this by yourself if you've got a red oil sign on the car, which is the case for this car, and there's little driplets under the car which are dropping. And I believe this is oil from the actual gasket of the oil sensor, and hopefully that changes once we fix this issue. And the car is also shaking while driving, so hopefully that also gets fixed once the sensor gets changed. However, if that's the case on your BMW 1 Series, this might be the case for it, so this can save you hundreds of pounds from just the sensor being changed instead of something in the engine, which a mechanic might advise you to change. So the parts that you need to change this is the oil sensor. So this is how it looks like. So it's just got 3 holes for bolts to go in, and this is the sensor plug-in, and this is how it looks like. So this is the part that we're going to get changed today. So I'll bring it closer to the camera so you can see. So hopefully that does the trick today and it fixes the problem. So the tools that you would need to do this job are ratchets. So I've got ratchets. I'm not sure about screwdrivers, but you might want to keep it on the side and keep screwdrivers, a Phillips and a flathead by your side, just in case there are flaps or things that you need to open up. And you would need 4.2 litres of oil if it's a 2-litre petrol like this one, which needs to get filled in as new oil once everything's been drained out. You need something to drain out the oil. So once the oil comes out of the sump, this is what we're going to use to get the old oil in. So when we open this up, or we don't open it up, but we open up the lid, and then we let the oil go inside here, and we can get rid of it through this lid. So it's a great thing, and it only costs like £20 on Amazon. So it's a good buy to buy if you're servicing cars and changing oil on a regular basis. And then you would need a funnel to put oil in, or you can use top of a water bottle, cut it in half and put it into the oil filter or into the oil bit of the engine, and then you can pour it in. However, a funnel is better. Then you would need the oil filter, which is going to get changed in the engine, and gloves are advisable to keep your hands clean, and then goggles just in case there's any dust going inside your eyes while you're under the car. And if you don't already have a oil filter remover, it's best to buy one like this. As for the chain one, sometimes rounds off the bit inside the car, and then once you keep taking off the housing, the outer bit starts to fade off, and then it will become harder to take off. So it's better to get one like this. I believe this is an 82 mm socket that you can use to remove the oil filter housing. So that's all the parts that we need to do this job, and it should be a straightforward job, but I'm going to run you guys through it so you can do it at home by yourself. So enough of me talking, and let's get crack-a-lacking and get this car alphamized. So to start this job, we start off by opening up the engine latch or the bonnet latch, and we start locating the oil filter. So on this car we can see that the oil filter housing is here. So as I showed earlier, that tool just goes on top and then we can get this oil filter removed. So let's start off with that. So this is the socket, just goes on top like this, and then we have to remove it off. So apply a bit of pressure and then it should come off just like this. And there we go, that's the oil filter, and as you can see there's still oil in there, so I'm just going to let it in there for now, leave it loose and start draining the oil from the bottom. So let's do that now. So once you're under the car, you can see inside here there's the oil socket or the plug that you need to remove to take out the oil from the car. So as you can see there's little driplets starting to drip, and that's coming from here. So I believe that's somewhere to do or something to do with the sensor, so we'll find out in due time. So first of all, we need to drain the oil. However, because I need access to the sensor, I'm going to take off this whole cover. So in order to take off this whole cover, I need to take off these bolts, which are like here and all around, and I believe they're 8mm bolts. So we'll start off with that, and we'll remove all those bolts that are holding this into place, and we'll put them back in after. So we'll remove the engine tray first. There we go, bada bing, bada boom. Engine tray is off, and I believe there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. There is 11 screws which are holding this in place. So now we've got access to the actual sensor, which I can see is really old and it's really oily, and the bolt to remove the oil. So that's looking good, and hopefully these bolts come off because it looks really rusty. So if you ever get rusty bolts or greasy bolts, try apply some WD-40 on it first and see if the rust goes, or it should lubricate the bolts so it's easier to remove. So we're going to do that first. So it looks like it's a 17mm bolt. So for this you need your little bowl or your basket, which will take out 4 liters or 4 to 5 liters of oil into it. So we're going to get that little carton that we have, and this is where the goggles will also be beneficial. But yeah, let's leave that and let's get this in place. One thing I forgot to mention before is it's good to change the actual sump plug, because sometimes the seals or the gaskets, the rings, O-rings that are around it, it goes bad and it starts to leak oil, so it's better to change that. However, I think my friend might have supplied the wrong size, so I'm not sure if I'm even going to be able to change it today. However, let's see what happens. So this is where you need to have your goggles on and start removing this 17mm bolt. So just be careful, especially if your car's been on for a long time and you're just removing it, as the oil will be hot. So on this one, the car's not hot, so it's been like this for a day, and I just drove it in the morning just to move it into this position. However, it should be okay, I guess. And I need to make sure I don't get rid of this bolt, as I need it to put it back on in case the other one that is supplied doesn't fit. So I'm just trying to take it out slowly so no oil goes anywhere except from the carton. Okay, I can start to see it come out. And make sure you're wearing gloves for this bit. Okay, oil is going to come out. There we go. It's coming up. And this is why I said to wear gloves, because as you can see, the top bit of the oil just caught onto my gloves. And now my whole glove is oily. And now that this is draining out, we can start taking the filter out too. I'm just going to let this get filled, and then we can go into taking the filter out. That we come to the filter bit, we need to have a basket which will catch the oil filter, as there will still be oil on the oil filter. However, I'm going to remove my gloves for this because my gloves are really oily. Look at this, it's gone through my gloves too. That's how oily it is. However, I'm going to try get some tissues and take this out, and then we can remove this filter. As you can see, now the oil has decreased a bit. But got some tissues. I'm going to wipe my hands first, maybe wipe my gloves too, and the engine, because I've got a bit of oil on it. We can leave that in the basket. Let's put the gloves back on just for this. I'm going to use this cloth to take it out and quickly put it in. So this way you don't leave any oil drops anywhere, and you can just dismantle the filter inside, and here we go, the filter is out, and we can put the new filter in as well. And on this, as you can see here, there is an O-ring here and an O-ring here. So what we need, if you can see that, let me explain that again. So there is an O-ring here and there is an O-ring here. So what we need to do is we need to replace all these O-rings that are there, so this one and this one. To do that, we just need a flathead screwdriver and we can remove that. So let me show you how to do that now. So at this point, all we're going to do is get our flathead screwdriver like this and go to the O-ring, which is here, and there should be new O-rings with the new filter that is supplied, so just make sure that you have new O-rings before doing this. So all we're going to do is get the screwdriver right under, and you see here the O-ring just comes out like this. When you remove it, it comes out like this. We can just leave that in the basket as well because we don't need it. The same with the other one. You just need to put the screwdriver right under and O-ring out. And here comes the other O-ring. So the next step is to see if the oil has all drained out. And looking from here, it looks like it has. So what I'm going to do is put the bolt back on and remove the sensor now, so that we can change the sensor and put the new oil in, and hopefully everything gets fixed. At the end, you want to remove the sensor too. This one, it's so greased up that I can't even see the sensor clips to remove the sensor. However, there should just be two little clips at either end, and all you do is press it in and then release. So that's what I did here, and this one's out, and we just need to remove the bolts to change the sensor now. Looks like the oil is still draining a little bit, so we'll let that drain while we change the sensor. And there's 3 bolts, 3 10mm bolts. This is a good time to just get WD-40 and degrease all the bolts as well before putting them back. Or if you have new bolts, then it's advisable to put new bolts there. However, I don't have new bolts with me, so I'm going to be using the same ones, but I'm going to degrease them and put WD-40 on them so that it's much cleaner when putting it back in. So that's the 3 bolts out, and the sensor should come out now. However, it is pretty stuck because it's been there for a long time and there's been loads of oil leaking from it, so it's pretty stuck. But as you can see, bada bing bada boom, the sensor is out, and you can see it's so greasy, and this is what's been faulty all this time. Well, that's what we think anyways, and that's what we've been advised, so let's see if that's the case. So here is the old sensor that we just removed, and as you can see, it looks okay, but there is loads of oil leaks all around. And if we look inside the O-ring of the sensor or the gasket, it's starting to get little marks inside, and it's letting oil come out, which is not a good sign. However, this one is all fresh and it's new, so we're going to install this, and hopefully the issue goes away once this gets binned, and we no longer use this and use this instead. So let's get to work and get that changed. Okay, now we're going to put this new sensor in, and it's good to grease it or put some oil on it too, just to lubricate the sensor before putting it in. So that's what we're going to do, and put this in like this. And then this is the best time to lubricate your bolts too, so make sure you do that too, and clean it out if you're using the same bolts again. And all we're going to do is put the sensor back in, and then bolt up the oil, add the new oil, add the new filter, and bada bing bada boom. So now it's time to change the filter and the O-rings. So this is the new filter. These are the new O-rings that we're going to replace. So here it is. One thing I forgot to mention is that there is another O-ring right at the end which we need to replace too. So let's get our screwdriver and take that out. The last O-ring that we need to remove from here. So what we need to do is get the new O-rings, put them on there, lubricate this filter with the new oil, and then put it in, tighten it up, put the new oil in, and hopefully everything's good to go. So first up, we're going to open up the oil and we're going to lubricate the oil filter and put it into the housing so that we can put the oil filter together. So to do that, we're just going to pierce a little hole into here because we don't want too much coming out. So what we're going to do is we're going to get our screwdriver and just pierce a hole. Got my flat head and just go boom, like that. And then what we want to do is just get a bit of oil onto the filter, just like that, just to lubricate it, just one bit. Don't want too much, don't want too little either. Just want a little bit, just lubricate the filter. That's it. Then it just clips in like that, and all we're going to do, all the O-rings are now on, filter is on, and we're going to put it back in and twist, 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 and as you can see the actual ratchet is on already. So all we're going to do is get our ratchet tool, which is here. We're just going to tighten this. Just keep tightening it till it goes in properly. And that's it, that's in. And now we just want to wiggle this thing out because you don't want the actual socket to be stuck. So we want to take that out somehow. So the only way of doing that is just wiggling it out slowly but surely, and it will come out like this. So that's out. This is all to go in the bin because it's all rubbish. You don't need all this after. And this is where our filter comes into play. So we open the oil cap, which is here, and we get our filter. We put it into the oil bit here, and here we get our oil. So this one's a 5W30 fully synthetic. Actually this one is not fully synthetic, sorry, my bad. However, the fully synthetic ones are good for the engine. However, this one's just a 5W30, but it's still a good oil, and it's from Castrol, which is what BMW recommends. So what we're going to do is get our filter, get the oil, and this car is a 2-litre petrol. So because it's a 2-litre petrol, we're going to get what do you call it? We're going to put 4 litres of oil inside, and it says 4 here. So this is 4 litres. However, it requires around 4 to 4.2 litres. So we're going to pour this in, and maybe we might have to top up another 0.2 litres of oil later. So one thing to do is just put a little bit of oil and check under the car if there is any oil leaking. So I'm just going to check, and it looks like we're all good. There's no oil leaking underneath, so we can carry on filling up the oil funnel with more oil. So in order to check the oil, what you're going to do is first of all start the car. So I've got the key here. We're going to start the car. When we start the car, you want to flip this up. So on this stoke adapter, you're just going to flip it up. When you flip it up, it's going to give you different options on the actual speedometer. So you can see here it says check, then it says oil, and what we're going to do is press the BC button after, and it's going to show you the oil level. So this one, it shows it's within the actual limit, so that's fine. So that's what we need, and the oil is fine on this, and the oil light is no longer there, which is a good sign. And I went for a test drive, and on the test drive the car felt good to drive too. So we'll find the actual results from the customer later on when he goes for a test drive himself and he checks how the car is or how it drives, etc., and if he feels a difference on the actual car. So yeah, let's wait for the customer and see the actual results. So right now I've got my friend with me, and what we're going to do is go on a test drive, and we're going to check the actual difference that's done on the car. So he's going to be driving and I'm going to be videoing his reaction, and we're going to see if there is any changes on the car, or if he sees any changes or feels any changes while driving the car. So let's go. Here's the keys, here's him. Your car has just been alphamized, mate, and let's see his reaction. So the time has come, and he's going to be taking the car out of the drive and going for a test drive. So we're going to hear his honest opinion on this.
So I can already tell the difference. It's the engine is very smooth. Usually I have pops and bangs and some rattle noises.
Madness.
When I drive, or when I even shift the gear or accelerate, but I've got nothing now, so bro.
Yeah.
It's very good so far.
Like that, yeah?
Like that. It's been alphamized.
Was there any errors before?
There was a code error showing on my dash. It was with the red oil signal light that kept coming on. But I've got nothing on my dash now. Except my seatbelt, of course, but I'm not wearing my seatbelt, so
yeah, that's not very good, is it, mate?
But so far so good. I'm happy with the result. Yeah, thank you, Alpha Customs.
So yeah, there you heard it from the customer himself, and he likes his car now, even though he did like it before too. However, it's driving much smoother, as you heard from himself. So yeah, this car has just been alphamized, and if you did like that video, please do remember to like, subscribe and comment.
Comment.
So till the next one, peace.
Peace out.